This is the new Suzuki Swift. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, it does look a lot like the old Suzuki Swift, but it is all new. For starters, it's slightly longer than before, which means legroom is better than before. I mean, if you look, it's not bad really, is it, for a Super Mini? And by keeping the boxy design, headroom, it's as good as ever. What's also good about the Swift is the sheer level of equipment you get as standard across the entire range. For instance, all cars get 7 airbags, electronic anti-skid control, there's USB interface so you can listen to music directly off a flash drive. Also, you get height adjustment and reach adjustment of the steering wheel, and you can also alter the height of the driver's seat, which means that it's dead easy to find an ideal driving position. The Suzuki Swift is pretty good to drive in town. I mean, the gear shift, the steering, and the major controls, they're all nice and light. And because it's got a boxy shape, you instinctively know where the corners of the car are, which makes it very easy to slot through gaps in traffic. Also, the Swift, a bit like the original Mini, has that kind of wheel at each corner stance with very little overhang, and that gives it sort of like go-kart handling. That means when you get out of the urban environment and onto a twisty road such as this, well, it's actually quite a bit of fun. I mean, it goes around corners really, really well. However, there is a trade-off for that nimble handling, and that brings me on to the Swift's downsides, because the suspension can feel a little bit firm, and it means that ultimately it's not quite as comfy as, say, a Hyundai i20. In fact, you get quite a lot of tyre noise and wind noise as well when you're going at motorway speeds. I mean, I reckon part of the problem is the fact that there's so much hard, brittle plastic that the noise kind of just reverberates around the cabin. And finally, if you follow me to the back, I'll show you another negative, because the boot is quite small, even by Super Mini standards. It's certainly not as large as that on a Renault Clio. And when you fold the rear seats down, you'll notice there's this massive lip, which could prove a bit of a pain if you're trying to carry larger items. But, you know, nothing's perfect, is it? And overall, the Suzuki Swift is a fun little Super Mini that's also really good value.